TPO. We're here today to host a Talking with Famous People, the internet television program that never talks with famous people. I was going to title this live stream, This is Your Moment to Shine, but instead of pushing Y, I accidentally pushed 6. So I thought to myself, hey, this is 6. It's a fine title for a live stream. This is 6. Welcome to 6. Comes after 5 and before 7. It is about 6 in the morning almost, or 5 in the morning almost. So, of course, I got up early. This is the Eric way when he's not on any amphetamines. I went to bed super early, like 8 o'clock something. I get up super early, like 4 in the morning. And in this instance, I made an attempt to go back to bed by taking 2 more gabapentins, which typically kind of knock me out. Especially if I take 2 of them. Usually I just take 1. But, I don't know. I don't feel sleepy. I just feel like awake, so here I am. Live streaming. Now, I will concede that despite the wonderful new Crunchyroll schedule, which is full of wonderful new anime shows to watch, Tuesday's not a good day. There's only one new show comes out on Tuesday. The Saints Power is omnipotent, which is a good show. I'm looking forward to it. It comes out at 8:30. Call it 9. Crunchyroll can sometimes be a little slow on the subs, you know. Sometimes they'll put up a new episode, but the subtitles won't be on it yet. And then you just have to wait for them to fix that. Well, of course, what's the first thing that happens when I start live streaming? I immediately feel the need to go poo. So that's probably our next order of business today, is a trip to the restroom, where pooing shall occur. Mother of Liberty reads Mein Kampf. That's what this sign I saw on Mariposa yesterday said. Well, I've been known to have that effect on people. That's why my name is MAXX instead of just MAX. There was a player on the Raiders last night playing in the football game named Max Crosby. Normal enough name. Except he spelled it MAXX. Which, if you name your kid MAXX, you are guaranteeing that he's going to be thought of as a penis enlargement product. There were a couple other weirdly named people in the football game yesterday. My favorite is a player for the Raiders on defense whose name is Divine Diablo. What? You got this big male son being born. Your last name's Diablo, and you decide to name him Divine? Are you trying to make him into a stripper or what? Was there somebody named Max Speed in NASCAR? That's pretty funny. I think the ultimate name for a quarterback was the old Texas quarterback, Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy is a great name for a quarterback. Divine Diablo. There's also a guy on the Raiders on offense, a receiver named Jacoby Myers. Now, if you're not from the States, or I don't know if it's nationwide or not, but there's this very famous legal firm in Los Angeles. I think it started in Los Angeles, but it's in New York too, called Jacoby and Myers. They're like liability lawyers, you know. Try to sue people if you get into an accident or whatever. But anyway, somebody whose last name was Myers decided it would be a good idea to name their kid Jacoby. I find that weird. Like you're naming your kid after a injury law firm? There's the hall for you to look at. Like poop. That was a good poop. That was a good one pusher, you know. Just one little push and out it comes. That's what you want from your poop. You don't want to spend a lot of time sitting around on the toilet determining what's going to happen. Not a completely ideal poop. If it had been completely ideal, it would have been a one wiper or a two wiper. Instead, we got a multi wipe. Multi is generally considered to be a pretty positive prefix. You know, multi-ball and pinball is a good thing. Multivitamins, those are good things. But a multi-wipe, well, it's never a good thing. That means your poop came out a little bit not very clean. Now I'm going to pee, so you just have to hang on for a little bit longer. Oh, kitty. Trouble is so much trouble. This morning when I woke up, I see him sitting at the bedroom door, lying on the carpet there, half asleep, just waiting for Capio to try to come in through the cat door so he can bully her. And then went outside this morning for my first cigarette, actually my second, I guess. And Capio was outside, came up to me, and I said, have you been kept outside by your brother all night? I mean, she could go in the garage if she wanted to, regardless, but it annoys me that Trouble's such a dick. And now we're done. It was just that easy. You thought you were in for a big hassle, huh? And now I've evacuated my feces and urine. So it's a pretty good accomplishment for a Tuesday morning. I am actually still hoping to go back to sleep this morning, but probably not going to happen unless I feel actually tired. So, if you don't feel tired, why do you want to go back to sleep, Eric? Well, I don't really like getting up this early in the morning. It's like there's not really anything to do this early in the morning. Rachel just got up. Mm-hmm. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Hansel. I'm just getting some features. Okay. No, I heard that you're keeping your sister outside. Oh my God, so mean. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's not entirely a bad thing if Capio was going to try to bring in a mouse or something, but there's no way that Trouble can know that ahead of time. This is 6. Get used to it. Hi, Oliver Linehan. It is 5 a.m. live stream time. But as indicated, I do have a plan. Yeah, well, I mean, flow stage panels seem to do very well in terms of attending participants and stuff, in terms of chatters and everything, but I'm not really interested in being on a panel because I don't need to discuss things to know what's correct. And the other people just need to learn from me. They don't need to voice their opinions at all because that's just how it is. I mean, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that I can't play with others, but I can't because they're wrong and I'm right. And it's like, this should be a class where they're all listening to me. It doesn't even matter what the fucking topic is, right? I'm a debate coach. Anything that's a matter of public discourse, I'm going to be miles ahead of them on. So it's just like, why would I want to hang out with a bunch of children, treating them like equal adults and pretend like we're engaged in some sort of meaningful discourse when they're just children and they need to be sitting there quietly and learning from me? It's the same thing with everybody else on YouTube. It doesn't matter if they're talking about cognitive functions or public policy, religion, science, it doesn't matter what they're talking about. They have no business talking. They have only business listening to me and learning and writing things down. If they were children, I'd be like, why aren't you writing this fucking down right now? It's like, that's what my decade on YouTube has taught me. I am miles ahead of everybody else on everything. It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. It's just like, I feel like Gino Toretta did when he was winning every single game, every single championship with UConn every year for like years in a row. He's like, I'm kind of embarrassed at the status of our sport that I keep winning so much. That's how I feel around YouTube. It's like everybody else is so much less correct than me about everything. It's insane. I had no idea the world was so stupid until I until I started YouTubing. And it's like, oh my God, people are so fucking dumb. It's unbelievable. It's shocking. It's like I grew up in this weirdly insulated, insular environment in which I just thought being smart and reasonable was the norm, you know? Gino Toretta. Yeah, whatever his name is. Oh, you haven't been to bed yet, Oliver Linehan. Wow. Then it is time for you to go to sleep. I went to bed early last night. I got a lot of sleep, but I could probably use some more. It's always a good idea to get enough sleep. If you don't get enough sleep, you know what you're going to be, Oliver Linehan? Cranky. And that's not because you did a bunch of crank. That'd be better than being regular cranky. You cloggy little bitch. Why are you always clogging? You need to just stop your cloggy ways already. Living the barely employed life? Well, welcome to the party, Lori Linehan. I wouldn't even call myself barely employed at this point. I just call myself straight up unemployed. I'm a NEET. I'm not in education, employment, or training. I'm an otaku NEET. And you know, if I were to do a job right now, the job that I'd be most qualified to do would be to discuss Crunchyroll's anime schedule. Like, I can tell everybody which animes in the new season you should watch and which ones you should not watch. I could tell everybody about all of them. I could tell you about it's called Stardust. It's a super girly show I watched yesterday. It's so girly. It's called Stardust Migidimya. Stardust. It has got to be the girliest, most emo show I've ever seen. But it was worth watching the first episode. It was really good. It made me cry a couple times. Surprised me on multiple occasions, which is a difficult thing to accomplish in just one episode, you know? I like both the new car racing cartoons, which are called Overtake and MF Ghost. MF Ghost is better than Overtake, though. Even though they're both good. I meant to make upload this short before I started this live stream, actually, but there's a guy in town or lady, I don't know, who lives across the street from the pizza shop, the pizza factory. And they're always putting up these signs in their window, these really strange, awesome signs that they print out on multiple pieces of paper and then fill their window with. Yesterday, it was a picture of a woman reading Mein Kampf to a small child. It said on it, Mother of Liberty reads Mein Kampf. I'm assuming it's referencing something political. Most of these things are, but I don't really get the reference. I just think it's weird and strange. And that's how he or she rolls with their signs, too. They are political, but they're mostly just super weird. The last time we went to town prior, this person had a sign up that said the Kubrick stare. And it had a bunch of pictures of people from Stanley Kubrick movies giving this like stare like this. And the last picture was of Donald Trump, his mugshot or whatever, was going. I don't know. They're a strange person. They're interesting. I want to talk to them. I want to meet them and interview them. Like, what are you doing with all these signs? They're great. I love them. They also got a rainbow flag. They got a flagpole in front of there. It's got American flag, California flag, rainbow flag. So maybe they're gay. I don't know. Or maybe they just are in favor of gayness or something. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm in favor of gayness. I just don't have a rainbow flag. My advocacy is that everybody should be gay and that heterosexuals should be ashamed of themselves. That's a good message. That's the kind of message the world needs to hear. Goddamn breeders. Breeders is a good name for heterosexuals. The Breeders was a good name for Kim Deal's band, too. This bong is like a woman born with a very small vagina. And yes, it works, but your penis keeps getting stuck up there. That's what this bong's like. So, you know, Oliver Lionhand's already gone to bed, but if he's still here, I just want to tell him, just fuck it, just stay awake. There's no point. I tried to go back to bed already this morning, it didn't work. So, therefore, it won't work for you either. So, I'm very happy for Taylor in his success in live streaming and I'm in favor of gayness for straight people, but actually gay people should just try to branch out a bit. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I mean, it is the case that breeders are the problem. We have too many people on the planet. The population is too large. We need a lot more gay people who don't have babies, and a lot more straight people who don't have babies, and a lot fewer straight people who do have babies, and a lot fewer gay people who do have babies. So, yeah, we definitely have a population problem in the United States and in the world. In the US, our population is growing too large for everybody to be prosperous, So, there's not really anything we can do about that. I'm not advocating in favor of some sort of legislative one child policy solution China had, although I don't think that China's policy was a bad thing for the world. I mean, it may have been bad for the individual Chinese people who had to obey the government regarding having children, which is just insane, But it is the case that China needed a lower population, still does. At least they've got a lot of land to put everybody. We have a lot of land too, but America was founded on principles and policies that work well with a fairly low density population and that are correct, but don't scale necessarily as well as you'd like them to, Hi, Winston's mom. Just to let you know, I was going to title the live stream, "This is your moment to shine." But when I went to push the letter Y, I accidentally pushed the number 6. And that's when I realized the proper title of this live stream is "This is 6." I can tell you all about 6, where it comes, where it lands on the number line, directly between 4 and 8. That's where 6 lands. You could say it's immediately between 5 and 7, even, if you wanted to. So, I walked out this morning around 4 a.m. and the problem with that is you end up with a situation where most of the population is old enough to be carried by a shrinking percentage of working age people. Well, I suppose that's why the COVID-19 bioweapon was designed the way it was. All over line hand. Then, if that thing did its job as whoever designed it was supposed to do its job, then it would have killed a bunch of old people and left the rest of the population largely untouched. That's what makes me think it was a bioweapon designed to deal with population issues. I mean, it couldn't have been more tailor-made as the perfect pandemic, right? Why is 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. Why? But see, really the question is, why is 6 so impressed with 7? That would be a better question. Because 7, 8, 9. And why is it impressive to eat 9 if you're 7? Because you're eating something that's bigger than your whole body. What if the 4th of July were celebrated on the 6th of July? Well, then I would imagine its name as a holiday would change to the 6th of July or July 6th. It's like Cinco de Mayo. If it happens on a different day, its name changes. What if I had 6 Tiffany's? There can only ever be one Tiffany. I do not need 6 wives. One wife is plenty. The other day, Rachel referred to herself as my girlfriend. You're not my girlfriend. I feel like a bad girlfriend. If I had 6 testicles, I'd need a bigger pair of bun huggers. I don't want 6 testicles. If I had 6 testicles, then presumably I'd have to have sexual intercourse 3 times as frequently. I do like having sexual intercourse, but my current frequency is plenty. No, I never would have wanted 6 girlfriends. Krogon quads is about as much testosterone the galaxy can handle. I don't know who Krogon quads is. Good morning, Rachel, my darling. Well, that's a good question, Oliver. Would the 6 testicles all be in one scrotum, or would they require 3 scrotums? They have 2 hearts, 4 lungs, and 4 testicles. Krogan, what are Krogans? A video game lore. Have a secondary nervous system using a neuroconductive fluid, meaning they're almost impossible to paralyze. Interesting. Well, don't bother trying to paralyze a Krogan. So Rachel's probably slept like 0 hours so far. She tries to go to bed at the same time as me, but she doesn't actually go to sleep. So like now probably she'll go to sleep and then she'll wake up like at noon. Well, Lisa was a lucky lady. She got to pop your tarot hymen. Let's go back inside. It's like once I stop live streaming, I don't have anything like interesting that I'm really looking forward to. Like I said, when I Lisa's been popping cherries for 40 years, huh? She sounds like a real slayer. In July 2019, there was apparently a baby born with 5 testicles. She leans, huh? Okay. Let's pull this bone rip. Still getting comments on that one relatively recent video I made on Melissa Talks. I think it was the video in which I mentioned that Melissa Talks had made a live stream before she took it down in which she threatened to sue both me and Jack for calling her not an ENTP. Anyway, for slander. Yeah, good luck with that. So I think it's interesting how like what gets the most action around here is me running afoul of idiots and their stupidity. That's what gets a lot of action. Plus shorts, of course. My shorts typically do quite well. Quite well. Like, well, I mean, not super well, but like yesterday I just made one, got 1,500 views. Actually, yesterday they each got 1,500 views. And then the day before, I made 2 shorts. One got 2,100 views, and the other one got 250. So if I just made like 10 shorts a day, I'd probably get in the range of 15,000 views a day. 30,000 times 15. It'd be like 450,000 views a month just on shorts. Right, I just made like 10 shorts a day. But of course, that presumes that if I made 10 shorts a day, that they all be of the same worthiness of being a short as the things I do make shorts out of, which is not necessarily the case. I usually wait for reality to present me something to make a short out of rather than trying to force making a short out of nothing. Um, or have a joke in mind or something if I'm doing Mindy's Club shorts. I've been doing more Mindy's Club shorts lately, so the good thing about that is Mindy's Club's active again and growing and stuff. The bad thing about it is Mindy's Club's not a monetized channel. The tuberous bush cricket's testicles make up 14% of its total body mass, proportionally the biggest of all animals. What would have to be something else? I mean, I agree nobody cares about MBTI, but none of my shorts are about MBTI. Almost none of my videos are about MBTI. I mean, this is not an MBTI channel. People don't get that, but it's not. It never has been. This is Eric channel, is what it is. Obviously, Rachel too, because she's my wife, but fundamentally, what is this channel? This is Eric talking about whatever, whenever, for years and years. But people don't like that. Right? People want you to be people want you to be in a neat, tidy box. Like, oh, Eric, he's that typology guy. No, he's not. He's Eric. He does all kinds of things. He does lots of different things. He's interested in lots of different things. And the most important thing he does, since nobody listens to him about cognitive functions, is tell people about politics, not cognitive functions. Fortunately, nobody listens to him, but that's by far the thing that matters the most that I do. If people would listen to me about that, which they have much more good cause to listen to me about, and if you look at the world in general and just understand it all, you have much less cause to disagree with me about politics than you ever do about cognitive functions, because I'm always right about that, you know? I'm always right about cognitive functions too, but it's much less easy for others to confirm that. I'm not always right about cognitive functions. I didn't used to be right about it, but I've become right about it, you know? It took a while to become fully right about it. And see, this is the other thing is, my problem is I don't want to present things in the format that people want to consume them. So people don't want to consume politics that comprises one person scolding everybody else for failing to do it right, which is the only thing I have to provide because that's the reality. I mean, all I can do is correctly, accurately describe and explain reality. So there's nothing else I can possibly do except just scold basically every human being I come across for being inadequate in their intellectual robustness regarding politics. Nobody wants to buy that. You know, nobody wishes to purchase a product called "You're Wrong and Here's Why." It's like one of the least popular products in all of the world. That's what I should have called this channel. You're wrong and here's why. Well, this is some weak coffee this morning. I guess I didn't put enough coffee scoops in. That's fine. My first cup was leftover coffee from yesterday. I finished the rest of the leftover coffee. Then I made a new pot. I like coffee weak, so I don't mind that I made this week. I like my coffee like myself. Weak. Right, but see, I don't want to sell anything, right? I'm not trying to sell anything, and I don't want to frame it for sales. So I don't want to make your medicine taste like sugar. I want to make it taste like medicine, you motherfucker. You know? Your wrongness is part of why the world's going to shit. Why should your medicine taste like anything other than shitty ass medicine? I'm not speaking specifically to you, man, with a great machete, but you get my general drift here. I'm not into coddling people in their wrongness. I'm not into framing it positively. The same with the tarot, you know? It's like, I pull a card for myself today. This is my card for today. It's the hero pants. Conventional, structure, group, clan, institution. So I'm just going to have a regular old conventional day. It might not be what I wanted, but that's what I get. So I just have to take it at the ass like a man. Man with a great machete, you get this one. Okay? That's 7 pentacles. No, 8 pentacles. Craftsman, gratification, prosper, groove, flow, artisan, skill, satisfaction. So that's the day you're going to have. I'm not going to try to pretend like it's something even better than that. Olive Reliant Hand. Look, Olive Reliant Hand, you got a shitty card. You get burden, oppression, onus, baggage, weary, weight, task. So just deal with it, motherfucker. All the Reliant Hand, I hate it when I do that too. I feel you, bro. Let me give you a sympathy fist bump here. I do that too, and it drives me fucking crazy. You see, I've begged for the "you're wrong and here's why" product for years. And the vast majority of what people have provided has been incredibly faulty. Well, you are a demographic of one all over Reliant Hand. To be wanting that product is very impressive. Yeah, the your problem. Even though I am hyper conscious of such things, I still do that. YOUR. And I go, oh no! And I have to either edit it or delete it right away. One mistake I don't make, though, that other people make all the time, is I don't use I as an object of the preposition when you've got a you've got more than one object of the preposition. Like you hear it in football games all the time. Like for Jim and I, it was a difficult time. No, it's for Jim and me. Eric, you're a blacksmith. Not everyone wants a sharp blade as hard as steel. Right. Well, that's my point. Is in fact, it's even worse than that. The man with a great machete No one wants a sharp blade as hard as steel, except for you guys right here. You guys are the rare exceptions, you know. Yeah, I'm not nearly as good as floating it like a butterfly as I am at stinging like a bee. And if I had Muhammad Ali's wisdom, I'd incorporate both more successfully. But instead, I am merely a humble failure of myself, unavoidably me, despite its wrongness. In that regard, I guess I gotta understand everybody else's wrongness is unavoidably them too. Though I might wish it were otherwise. Hamdullah, praise be to Almighty. Are we praising the Almighty? Tonight we're having braised Almighty for dinner. Rachel found this butterfly in the parking lot of the supermarket yesterday, and she put it in an empty cigarette box because she wanted to like put it on her wall or something, or on her corkboard upstairs. And then last night she was like, "Oh, I left the butterfly in the car, I think." I'm like, yeah, you wouldn't want to lose your dead bug." She laughed. I laughed. It was funny. But she doesn't want to lose her dead bug, and that's fine. It's like, I might not want to have a dead bug, but I want to have this thing be Tiffany's hand. So it's not like my shit's not just as ridiculous as everybody else's shit. It's just different ridiculous. I don't know. A dead one or a dying one? What kind of butterfly did Rachel find? One that was on its last legs. I didn't look that carefully at it. Were we talking about the monarchs now over at Flows? Were you guys talking about monarchy? Well, I mean, the thing about form of government is it's secondary to goal of government. But the problem with monarchies, the idea of them, is they're not accounting adequately for transition. So even if you have the great philosopher king ideal and he serves as the king for 80 years somehow, you still have to deal with transition. And monarchies don't have any kind of meritocratic transition. Democracies don't really have a meritocratic transition either, but at least it's a popularity contest. Which is better than having it be decided by some individuals without considering everybody else's opinions. I mean, it's like what democracy proves is that individuals can't make decisions well. It proves it by the fact that we can't elect good people. It proves it by the fact that they can't make good decisions. It proves that individuals can't be trusted. When dealing with the public's business. And they shouldn't be, except for me. Seem to be the exception to that rule, but I'm sure there are other politicians out there who are TI tool users, extremely detached and dispassionate and attempting to be ethical in the execution of their business, but there aren't very many of them in politics. What gets you into politics successfully is an interface function up top, TE or FE. Of course, you don't want either TE or FE DOMs in politics, but that's what you get, you know. You get a lot of those. And even when you get lucky and an ENTP sneaks through with their smooth as silk uh, Obama schmeins, it doesn't make any difference because they don't know everything they need to know. You know, he didn't. He was never me. He was never even close. He said he could sort of slip it by everybody without being explicit about anything. At some point, he realized he had lost any claim to principle. But you can't win hearts and minds without saying stuff, without really saying the truth. You know, granted, saying the truth will probably lose you more hearts and minds than it'll win you, but at least it'll do one of those two things. Trying to avoid speaking the truth is a recipe for disaster. The problem with monarchy is that I don't have any royal lineage. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I just think it's such a misguided conclusion to draw that because democracy sucks ass, we should choose to maximize the reason why it sucks ass. Because individuals can't be trusted with power, either because they have self interest guiding them and they're more interested in benefiting themselves than doing the public's business, or because they have genuine, passionate patriotism but lack the intelligence to execute it correctly. You know, you've got people like AOC. I don't doubt the authenticity of her passion, but she's completely unable to do the public's business because she believes that her subjective passion represents directionality for public policy, you know, which is insane, of course. Well, then she should go into porn instead of politics. I don't know. Well, yeah, monarchy is too centralized. I mean, that's the point of democracy is to get power out of the hands of individual people, disperse it, have checks and balances where you've got competing power centers checking and balancing each other, trying to maintain their own jurisdictional sovereignty, and individuals representing those institutions changing all the time. So, the disadvantage you point to is a lack of stable, consistent vision. Like the U.S. cannot be trusted to sign international treaties and shit like that at all because, by and large, uh, it lasts for 8 years until um, you begin to think it was morbid. If you take, I don't think it was morbid. I don't think it was morbid at all. When I was a kid, for one of my biology or it was like maybe elementary school, maybe middle school class projects was I put an insect collection together. We went to Mammoth and my mom had gotten from her school a bottle of what's that stuff called? Uh, That was a juicer. Um, what's that stuff? Formaldehyde. She had this thing with formaldehyde and like a sponge on the bottom of it, this jar, and we'd catch these like insects, like dragonflies and stuff, all the different insects around my island. We'd put them in that jar, they'd die, and then I'd pin them to the board, and put what their name was underneath it. So I don't think there's anything wrong with um, collecting a butterfly that you think is beautiful to put on your board with other things like that you like to play with, like pretty rocks and stuff like that. You like stuff like that. There's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with it. Just because I teased you a little bit about it. I didn't even mean to tease you about it. I just thought it was funny to say that at the time. Yeah, you don't want to lose your dead bug. I just can't resist opportunity for a good joke. It was not intended to be a commentary on your decision making at all. Uh, I collect all kinds of random little things. I have so many little things in my pockets all the time. I'll go into the garage and I'll see some like washer or whatever. I have it in my pocket. I think I could play with this. I could do something with this. I play with stupid little things too. It's just different stupid little things. I love playing with stupid little things. Like, you like dead butterflies? I like things like this. I like things like this and things like this. these You can put these together and play with them. See how fun these are? So yeah, I've got another one of these things. I've got these and this. Look at these things I've got too. These little pokers and jabbers and grabbers. They're fun. I was so happy when I found Tiffany's grabber hand. It's such a great addition to her capabilities. The third has such a good ring to it. Boba Fett the third. Well, I don't think you have to do that with the name necessarily to have strong family bonds, though. It's like LeBron named his kid Bronny. Why? It's like everybody's already gonna be all like, "This is LeBron James's kid. Why do you gotta name him Bronny? Is he a paper towel?" Although I really got to give due props to the Diablo family for naming their large linebacker son Divine. Yeah, her grabber hand is great. It really is because she can hold on to things now. Also, I'm pretty pleased with the robot I made. How did Delilah get her name? It was the name of a cocktail that both her mother and I liked, or her mother liked it more than I did, I guess. But it's like a lemon drop with something else in it. I forget the exact ingredients to it, but we named her after a cocktail. NGL, okay? NGL. We named her after a cocktail. Her middle name is her maternal grandmother's first name, Delilah Soledad Strauss. Yeah, it's a pretty rare one. Do you want me to watch you eat again? I already watched you eat once this morning. We could watch you eat again, though. Come on. Let's bring my coffee and we'll watch you eat. Maybe I should bring the bong, too. I'm coming. I'm coming, Mr. Man. I wish we had named her Delilah Jane, which would have been a much better name. But I wanted to be cool to her side of the family, so I don't know. It was a mistake to call her Delilah Soledad. It's too many syllables. I lacked NI enough at the time, too. My NI was bad. Soledad means solitude as well. It's a strange name for a child. Delilah, solitude, stress. That would have been a better name than Soledad, actually. Soledad. Yes, you're a good kitty, and we know how important it is for us to watch you eat. Oh, yes. It's so boring to watch you eat. And yet so important. This cat, he is trouble. The most correctly named cat in history. Now he'll continue eating for a little while after I walk away, but then not very long. I'm a bit of a gaseous clay this morning. All right, Trouble, I'm turning off the main light now. So he's still eating. He's not constipated. Believe me, Bo. I cleaned the litter box, so I can assure you that cat is not constipated. He has water. He doesn't. Neither of the cats really like wet food. And those are also, they're eating iams. It's good cat food. It's not cheap cat food. I used to get JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has great NE, but it has the tendency of plot armor over TI. I mean, gin Contreau and lemon juice. Yeah, that's right. Do you know that they don't seem to sell triple sec anymore? Whatever happened to triple sec? Contreau is fancy triple sec. But when we went to the liquor store to get liquor for the wedding, there was no triple sec. It's like you need triple sec for lots of cocktails, right? Contreau is preferable to any other brand of triple sec, but it's like, is that the only brand of triple sec anymore? I don't know. Doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure was good, but not one of, by any stretch of the imagination was it not one of my favorite animes. You know, it's like it was kind of fun. It was fun. After you get past the initial bit of the first season, which is kind of slow, it suddenly starts getting good, you know. But it was I mean, I guess you could say that great indie in the sense that the characters were so strange. And their hats and outfits were so strange. You know, it's like the main characters, like, seems like all the JoJos were any polar in the character construction, so they barely said anything. It wasn't a particularly dialogue heavy show, I guess you'd say. I liked its inclusion of the tarot. I thought that was cool. I wish they had been a little bit more complete about it, a little more thorough. Somebody should make an anime that's based on the concept of a single tarot deck that somebody has, gets at an old shop or whatever, that is linked somehow to, you know, anime magical power stuff. I'm really pleased to see that in the new season, Deadmount Death Play is back. It's the second half of the first season. Sometimes they do that where they're like, you think, oh, that was it. Maybe this show will get a second season. But actually, it has a first season run that's twice as long as the normal first season run. In other words, it's got 24 episodes instead of 12. Sometimes single season shows that just end in one season will have 13 episodes. But anyhow, Dead Mount Death Play is really good. I really enjoyed it, had forgotten about it, and was very pleased that it was continuing. The thing is, of course, I watch so many animes, it's easy for me to forget about them as I move on to the next thing. So sometimes I get little treats like that. Also, Ancient Magus's Bride Season 2 is continuing, which was a pleasant surprise. I really like that show. Of course, I really like a lot of anime shows, so that's not any big news that I really like that one. Boba Fett, quit kicking me in my FI. Even if I were to unban him, how would he know about it? Hey, how are you? I feel sad today. What am I gonna do now? Take sleeping pill? I don't know. I'm not really a sadness fixer. I feel sad sometimes. I try to think about other things. Okay, fine. I'll unban Bobby. If I get around to it, when I get around to it, you know. Not that long ago when he reveals himself to be a big hypocrite. That's why he's being banned, is because he's such a hypocrite, not because he's an asshole. It's like, you can't be all this super moralist Jesus person and then have no capacity to fellowship with any other fellow Christians because they aren't exactly the right sect as you are or something. It's fucking ridiculous. What would Jesus do? Jesus would, I'm pretty sure, ban Bobby. And then he'd probably unban him. Rosanna Barr is on the PBD podcast in 3 minutes. What's the PBD podcast? If I were a regular YouTuber, I'd probably be like, hi, don't come in here and try to make people watch something else. But I don't hear it all. You should watch that podcast and comment on it with your live stream. You know what? There's not any entertainment site in Bangladesh. Well, there's not any entertainment where I live either. This is what I'm doing for entertainment and what you're doing for entertainment. We're both doing the same thing for entertainment right now, Mr. Joy. Are you not entertained? If not, that's my bad. I'm failing to entertain you. Let me do a little tap dance or something. Now are you entertained? You know what we have for entertainment around here? Dead butterflies. We got dead butterflies. We got grabber hands. We got lots of fun things. We got matrix glitch lizards. That was the trippiest thing I have encountered in quite some time since we saw that weird, like, mammal caterpillar creature thing. One of the weirdest things I've ever seen is this lizard. I went out the door, and there's this lizard in this, like, action pose, standing at the on with one foot on the welcome mat. And I went outside and I was like, oh, there's a lizard right there. And I kicked at it with my foot. I didn't kick it, but I tried to shoo it with my foot. No, let's not drink Jack Daniels. That's a bad idea. And he just stayed completely frozen. And so then I was like, what the hell? And I looked at it for a little bit more, just completely frozen there. Finally, I took out my camera, I started filming it, it stayed frozen. I was like doing different views. And then Rachel's like, what's going on? And I stopped the filming, and then it was still frozen. And I told her, there's this like weird lizard out here that's frozen. And I started filming it again, and then finally it moved. It was such a glitch in the Matrix lizard, I don't know what to even think about it. Because it's like, what lizard stands there as you come out the door? It's like 1 foot away from you. You like shoo it with your foot, it doesn't even move at all. You walk around and look at it and go like, what the hell? And it doesn't move at all. You get your phone out, start filming it, it's not moving at all. You zoom in close, it's completely frozen. You stop filming, you start filming again, it's still completely frozen. And finally, it moves. What was up with that? And it was frozen in this like action pose. Like I said, like 1 foot was up and 1 foot was on the ground. And like, what explains that? Like if it were playing dead, it wouldn't be in an action pose. And do lizards play dead? I don't think lizards play dead. Well, the thing is, and I haven't said this to anybody yet, including Rachel, there was another lizard there when I went outside. It ran away right away. I didn't bother commenting on that lizard. It was bigger than the lizard that was frozen. Maybe they were in some sort of standoff before I came outside. And so I don't know. But why did the big one acted like a normal lizard and ran away when I came outside? I didn't have to shoo it or anything. It just immediately ran away. So I don't know what was going on with that lizard. The lizard, Boba Fett. That's what's so bizarre. Well, even if they do play dead, that lizard was doing a poor job of playing dead because it wasn't like lying on its back pretending to be dead or even just lying down pretending to be dead. It was just completely statue. One thing I sometimes wish I had was a bigger. I mean, if it was like flight, flight, or freeze, then I don't know. It was freezing in a weird place. It was obvious that I knew it was there. I was trying to talk to it and shoo it away and everything. The other lizard ran away. I mean, I believe it was just like what you guys are saying. It was stuck in this kind of like, oh shit, what should I do? I'm just gonna freeze here. So far, it hasn't touched me. This big thing. A skinwalker caught mid transition. Hello, Bobby Chohan. What's that in your hands? This is a needle from the wedding that was used to pin some part of Rachel's dress. We use it now to poke things, or I use it to clean out my fingernails. So now I need to grind. I need to grind. So somebody get me a man's lap and some sexy music. I need to grind. Maybe you should just grind more weed, Eric. Okay, fine. That's what I'll do then. Okay. Yeah, it was really very much like it was doing modeling for an art class. Maybe that's why the cats are able to catch so many lizards. Because we have an unusually high percentage of the lizard population working as nude models around here. Oh, lizards. There sure are a lot of lizards around here. There. All ground up. Now, Wait, is that my song? Da 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 da. Oh, my stomach feels a little churny. It started feeling a little churny actually, shortly after I ate lunch yesterday with Rachel at the Mexican restaurant. But then it felt fine. Well, mostly my stomach's been feeling fine. But right now it feels a little bit churny. Where did I leave my coffee? I have to find that with my finding eyes. Okay. You know what? Let's turn on this fan a little bit so that we move a little air through here. Where did I leave my coffee this time? Where did I leave it? Did I leave it near the Rhine? When I was invading Germany with my cup of coffee, did I leave it near the Rhine or somewhere else? There it is, look at this. Yes, I found it with my eyes. It's my cup, it says E. It stands for Eric, that is why. It's my cup, and I found it. Now I'm gonna have a drink. That's the end of that song. Well, Winston's mom, I may be 52 years old, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to continue to age. Just because I've aged from birth till now doesn't mean I won't stop aging right now. There's no reason we can necessarily conclude that. So I'm expecting myself to stop aging pretty much like right now. So that'll be pretty cool. I just stay at 52 indefinitely. No, you're not groupies. I don't have any groupies, okay? I don't have any groupies, and I don't even have any fans, okay? So one of the early sayings of this channel that I no longer say, but I used to say a lot is, or was sort of part of the idea, was friends, not fans. I don't like pedestals. I don't like putting people on them, and I don't like being on them. The exception is Johnny. He deserves to be on a pedestal. But everybody else, you can just stay the fuck off of pedestals, and I will try to stay the fuck off of pedestals too. Johnny especially deserves to be on a pedestal because of his horribly unlucky throat hurting thing. That's terrible. But, he's like an athlete that has a lot of talent, but gets injured periodically or has bad luck, and so they don't. They're gonna miss some games, and they're not gonna put up as big a numbers in terms of shows and stuff as some other players in the league might, but they're still a better player. It's like that kind of reality. A lot of times your best players can be kind of injury prone. So, and Rachel is correct in pointing out that he's almost certainly an INFJ, and that 8 slot SI is very unconscious, so he's not going to notice until it's really late that he's fucking up his voice, Yeah, gonna push on without thinking about the body is a great way to put it. High winds today. Well, Opet, none of us can be as cool as Johnny. We just have to accept that. It's just part of reality. You can't be as cool as the coolest man in the world because he's already he's already at the top. You know, definitionally, the fact that he's the coolest man in the world makes him cooler than you because you're a man in the world that's not him. So I wouldn't feel too bad about being less cool than Johnny Boba Fett. Just that's just all the world is less cool than Johnny. So, or you just have to accept that. The coolest man in the world is always the person who's most correct about music right now. That's the best definition for the coolest man in the world. You know, it's obvious when you watch Falco's video for Dear Commissar that he fully understands at that moment that he is the coolest man in the world and that this is the coolest song in the world and that he goes to the coolest parties in the world and all that stuff, you know. You can just tell it in that moment. Of course, Falco's coolness was very short-lived because he only had that one peak moment of absolute genius. Who do I think is the hottest man in the world? Well, that's me, obviously. Look at this. You see these? These are called beauty lines. Besides me, who's the hottest man in the world? I'm going to say Herbert Hoover. Do we have to be alive people or can I pick dead people? If I can pick dead people, I'm going to say Herbert Hoover. He always wore a smart looking hat. He was a hat wearer, Herbert Hoover, you know. Oh, sure, you might make the argument for Coolidge, but I'm a Hoover guy myself. You know, it's like they said in the song for that one sitcom, we sure could use a man like Herbert Hoover again. What sitcom was that? All in the Family. That's what it was called. All in the Family. It was mostly a terrible show filled with social commentary in lieu of comedy. Okay, other hottest men in history. Well, you know what? I'll tell you who's really striking me is hot right now. Is Notre Dame quarterback Sam Hartman because he has brought back the Charlton Heston look from those movies about the Bible back in the day. I'm really impressed with his Charlton Heston. If you Google him, you'll see what I'm talking about. I think that's a bold look, you know. It's not a look I'd go for particularly, but it's a bold look. I think the Carlson brothers, both of them kick respectively for Green Bay and Las Vegas. Seems like handsome young men. I also liked the look of Arizona Diamondback pitcher Gallen, who really like decided to crank up nerd to 10. Just was like, I'm gonna look as nerdy as I can possibly look. I think it worked. I liked it. So those are recent men I can think of that I've thought about how they look, I guess. I liked Gallen's look. I like Sam Hartman's look. The Carlson brothers are just two like they look like characters from an anime. You know, anime often has blonde, blue-eyed people who are supposed to be Japanese in their anime. they look actually like the brothers in this show that's currently going on Crunchyroll called Midgie and Dolly or something like that. It's about identical twins. The Carlson brothers look like those twins in that. Rachel says I'm good at saying, "Oh, that person looks like me." So that made me feel proud of myself. We saw a lady yesterday who looked like that lady in the Twilight movie. I don't know. I'm not doing any sort of battle with pharmacies anymore. I just accept reality and deal with it as it is. I don't even know if I really even want to get Vyvanse. Um, you know, I'm in kind of a weird place right now, emotionally, spiritually, or whatever. I don't know what you want to call it, or just ontologically, where I'm coming back to a state of being that I think used to be a norm that went away, and because I'm bipolar, I didn't really know it. Um, uh, you know, I remember a time when I used to wake up happy, excited to do the basic things of starting the day, like read the paper, which, I used to back in the day when I was younger, in my 20s or whatever. I'd get the paper. But I'd look forward to getting up, having my cup of coffee, reading the paper. I'm starting to feel a little bit like that again, where I don't feel like I'm just kind of self-soothing or killing time and or getting things accomplished that need to get accomplished, but rather just enjoying life in a regular way. It seems like something that it's critical to get back to. Like, I can't. It's not easy for me to keep in mind or remember what it's like to be happy, have fun, and feel good in normal ways. I'm not exactly sure when I lost that sort of native joy, but I suspect it has a lot to do with the last few months of my dad's life and my dad's death. It's like I was feeling pretty broken near the end of my dad's life. I was pretty broken, you know. Then when he died, it's like all I knew at the time was being broken and trying to put balms of various sorts on those wounds, I guess. You know, self medicating in ways that were very drug abusey. I guess it was a difficult time. I mean, I know it was, but in some sense, I didn't understand then very well what it meant to go through something like that, I guess. I don't know. Talking about FI stuff, it's hard to articulate anything else, you know, you can put your hands around and do anything with. But I see the fact that I'm live streaming now as a good sign. The fact that I generally wake up and do live stream in the morning and enjoy it mostly. Um, you know, I want to get back to making things, but hello, yes, Daddy knows. But I've got this cat here who's extremely needy. The world's neediest bully. You call my cat Trouble. He's purring in this very attack-like way right now. It's like he wants to be near me and push his head on me and stuff. If I try to pet him, he'll probably swipe at me. Yes, you will. I can tell. I can tell that you're agitated. Trouble seems to view his whole life as this competition between him and Capillo for our love or something. He's so jealous. Rachel pointed it out last night as I was petting Capillo, who's just looking over with this horrible look like, oh, I hate that cat. How dare he give love to anyone but me? Huh, Trouble? Yes, you're the most jealous cat ever. You want to constantly control everything. Yes, you do. You're a control freak. I think it's fair to call our cat a narcissist. We have a narcissistic cat. And I mean clinically narcissistic. I don't mean he's self absorbed. I mean, he's a narcissist. But we just can't help but love him anyway. I guess if you're a cat, you can get away with it. If Rachel's still awake, I wonder if she agrees with me that Trouble's a narcissist. I do have a to-do list of various things, like replace the weather stripping where it's been scratched away by the cats, now that we have a better solution to that. Oh, goodness gracious, you're purring so much. What do you think about that, Trouble? You think that's pretty exciting? Okay, well, it's really been bathroom time with Eric this morning, huh? I've had to pee a couple of times, had to poo a couple of times. I guess the old plumbing is clearing out the system, you know. It's saying enough. Enough with having urine and feces inside of you. So that's good. I always like to get rid of both solid and liquid excrements. Going number 1 and number 2 are obviously not as satisfying as going number 3. But they're still pretty satisfying. Just once again, for the record, for anybody who's not heard the explanation yet, I was going to title it, "This is Your Time to Shine," but which is something that Coach Prime said to his kicker. Meow. What? I'm not going over there again. See what I mean by this cat being a narcissist? There's no possible way he wants to eat more. I've watched him eat twice already this morning. But he wants to control me. He wants to make me go do something. What do you want, Trouble? What do you want? Meow? Meow. Meow. Yes, Daddy loves you, but Daddy's not going over there right now. You see what he just wants me to be in his space. You see, we've allowed it to be Capio's space right around in here, this little area. He kind of accepts that it's her space, and then he can't really come over here when I'm sitting over here with Capio. Although he's welcome to, but he can't climb up here and bother Capio. That's what he can't do, you know. I've thought about it, Winston's mom. I've thought about just moving his food over here. I don't know if he'd like that or not. I don't know if he'd be satisfied. Maybe he would. We could try it. I don't really want a plate of cat food right here, you know. But I also don't want to go watch him eat, so. Plus, the problem with putting a plate of cat food right here is it's right in the middle of Capio's area. It's like we've had to fight hard enough to carve out an area for Capio to live in. Yeah, I'd end up kicking it too, I'm sure. I've read that 2 words can often offer someone a different perspective. Use the words because and usually when you want to change their directions. Usually, if people do it like this because, yeah. I mean, that'll work on FETI people or TE people. But it won't work on FI people. It's a good heuristic because it works on everybody but FI 1, 2, maybe 3. But usually, yeah, it'll probably work on everybody who's not FI 1 or 2. I say, usually you should shut your mouth because you're wrong. How do you think that would go over? Usually you should shut your mouth because you're wrong. Think that would go over well? Would that change people's direction? The thing about that is it presumes you want to change people's action rather than changing people's minds. And I don't want to change people's actions. I don't care about their actions. Oh, I know that usually you do this because blah, but could you, in this instance, do it because blah? Yeah, well, I mean, I found success one time dealing with the DMV by pretending to be a confused old man. I don't, was there, I don't know. And they're just like, okay, fine, here, have this thing. Yeah. They wanted me to give them this thing, and I just pretended like I couldn't understand what they were talking about or where it was or how I could find it. What is this thing? I don't. And I just like, okay, fine, here's your license plates without you turning in your old license plates. My car just has paper things. Well, the license plate is under the paper thing. And I was like, no, there's just paper there, I think. It says like the name where I bought the car. I'm like, here's your license plates. The thing is, the truth is, I didn't know the plates were under the license, under the paper thing until the lady told me. So I genuinely didn't know that. But then I pretended not to understand basically what she was talking about or how could it be under it? You know, like how could it be under it? It's the regular size. But the truth is, once she said it, I was like, oh, you mean the plates are just underneath those paper things? Oh, what an idiot I am. But I didn't want to go out and get them, right? I could have just gone out to the parking lot. But I probably didn't have the right screwdriver or whatever. So that's what happened. Oh, is that where they are? It's so silly. My whole life, I always thought when I saw those paper things that, oh, they haven't gotten any license plates yet. So I guess when you sell a car from a car dealership, they take away the license plates and put those paper things. If it's a used car and it's a new car, they just don't have any license plates yet. But in fact, they just put that paper thing over the license plate. I should have realized that, but I never did until that lady said it. So I didn't really have to pretend to be a confused old man in that instance. I really was confused about the fact that I didn't, until she told me that I really didn't know that I had any plates. I didn't know. I just have paper thing. Yeah. So anyway, I like to say I pretended to be a confused old man, but it was only a little bit of pretending, and actually a lot of Eric being dumb. So yeah, well, people would not be happy with that, I'll tell you. Yeah, sometimes I think of funny ideas I think would be funny pranks, but I would never actually pull them. Like, one of my favorite ideas is to go to like the Vons or whatever, some supermarket like that, and go to the feminine hygiene product section. And when women go by and come by and try to get something, I go up to them and mansplain to them why they should use a different product. I think that would be funny, but I would never actually do it. Oh, you don't want that one. Excuse me? Um, Always with wings has wings. This one lacks wings. So, you know, be smart. Get the one with wings. Trust me, I'm a man. I know what I'm talking about. Well, I would expect my Glitch in the Matrix lizard to do better than 2,500 views. But my best short ever was the one where there was a trash can, and I was trying to put the trash in the trash can, but it didn't fit through the hole, so I pulled off those little lid and put it in the trash can. And I made a short where I've seen TikTok pranks where wives send their husbands into drugstores to buy some ridiculous made up feminine hygiene product. That's pretty funny. I mean, do you have any Summer's Eve by Massengale? Would be a fun thing to ask any clerk in a store. Yeah, my wife says she's feeling not so fresh. Do you have anything that can help with that? My wife sent me to the pharmacy with the following instructions. Tell them I feel not so fresh and they need a solution. Can you help? I feel not so fresh and I need a solution. It's, it's a great sentence. One thing that live streaming does is probably not necessarily a great thing, is it makes me smoke more. I like to smoke continually, basically, when I'm live streaming, either bong rips or cigarettes. So that's probably not the best thing in the world for me. I smoke much less when I'm not live streaming. But besides that, I think live streaming is one of the healthier things I do. I I'm feeling happy right now, like just regular happy. It's hard to feel regular happy. I remember regular happy from childhood. This thing that used to, not just childhood, even early adulthood. Or even later adulthood, when I was sober, you know, for a while and feeling pretty good about things. But I haven't spent a lot of time um, not on any amphetamines for an extended period of time. Both not on amphetamines and not on sleepy week. And I think that to experience the full richness of life, I need to spend more time like that, probably. But I'm not sure because it could be that my happiness is coming back and that it will carry over into speed times of happiness, which I also remember having plenty of. It's hard to say. SI has this distance from an event thing that that impacts how it defines your being. Recency bias, etc. Where are my glasses? I wish I could read that. To dive into your shadow, I know, Eric. Is that what it says? To dive into your shadow, I know, Eric. Am I diving into my shadow? Well, what I'm talking about is FI stuff, but it's also kind of a narrative frame of reference too. Like, it's hard for me to be without mapping in some sense because I'm such a mappy type. What I'm trying to map now is an SI of FI, and that's difficult to map. It's a memory of how it feels to feel good and happy and interested in doing things because they're fun, not because you're mad or whatever. I made so much content driven by negative emotions over the last number of years, really. I've had a lot of anger, expressed in live streams and in life. And I guess grief as well, and just future shock. Future shock is a good word for what I've been experiencing. living in a future I was not prepared for at all. My past did not prepare me for this present whatsoever, except in childhood, which is why I keep going back to it as a reference point. Like, how did I have fun as a kid? I used to just play around all the time and have a great time, and all I wanted in life was for there not to be anybody telling me what to do all the time. All I ever wanted as a kid was just, please, parents, just go on vacation and just leave me at home and let me just play. And stop making me do things. Stop making me go here. Stop making me go there. Stop making me do this. Stop making me do that. Let me just play all the time. I don't want to do any of these things. But I didn't ever say that or even know that, really. I know it now. I mean, I knew then that I wanted to stay home and play and not go do these things. But I didn't know it mattered or anything. You know, I just, sometimes when I really didn't like something, I put up a fuss about it, but I, by and large, didn't think that my feelings mattered much, or anybody else's. But that's childhood, young adulthood is you're learning to be a human being. First you just are your function biases 100%. So much so that you just assume people understand what you're saying all the time, even though a lot of times they don't. Well, that's just life in the big city, I guess. So it's like, here we are. It's early in the morning, so I'm feeling awake and lively, even though I took 2 gabapentins when I woke up to try to make myself go back to bed because it was only 4 in the morning. I'm turning into my mom. This is just exactly how my mom was. She liked to go to bed super early. I spent so much of my childhood in books. Our children should be studying. I read all of those books. Not because these writers can tell them about rocket ships and time machines, because more important, they can lead young minds through an imaginative exploration of the jungle, political, social, psychological, and ethical issues that will confront these children as adults. Well, that's a great quote because that's exactly what I did. I was raised on reading shit tons of science fiction and fantasy books. That's what I did all my childhood. I just read. Read and played when I could. I was encouraged to read at least. That was nice. I have written some good songs during those down periods. Thank you, Winston's mom, for saying so. What if life makes you do things because, well, no one will do them and they need to be done? I really like doing them. I hate doing things, but well, it's a matter of how much you're having to do at other people's behest, right? KE says I always get tricked into doing more stuff because who else? Who else? And then they ask you to do more, and I hate doing things, anything. I feel you, dog. I feel you. Okay? Let me just tell you that. KE, number one, I feel you. Number two, dog. And so here I am. I am in this moment, in this place, in this time of my life where it exactly what I wanted when I was a little kid. I just want nobody to tell me what to do, and I can just do whatever I want whenever I want. That's right. That's when you know you're serious. You got street cred, right? Is when you refer to people as dog, because they're your dog, dog. Yeah, it's really with a W. I'm gonna go with Winston's mom spelling there. It's DAWG. Um. Anyhow, I think this part of my hair, I didn't cut it quite as well as I should have. It's always hard to get it. This spot back here. It goes in a swirl, and the scooper doesn't really scoop it that well. Salé. I don't know what salé means. Shaking my head, I'm in a time of my life where it is literally making me sick to do and not think, not having enough time to just sit down and think. I don't care what type you are. If I were a good person, I would care a lot about typology and make a lot of videos, try to win the hearts and minds of the populace with my correctness. But, like I said, that's competing with my childhood dream come true. I just need to remember how to play. I'm doing a pretty good job right now. Right now, this is pretty good playing. But it's like, okay, here we are. There's 6 of us here, or 5 of us, because I'm one of the watchers. 4 of us, because Rachel's probably watching but asleep. So, okay, we could do whatever we want. What do we want to play? At the same time, you don't feel alive in a significant way if no one witnesses what you say or do. Well, that's true for FE third. It's true for me. Not always, though. There are times when I can just play by myself and have fun without anybody watching. But almost always, I I like to make little videos out of my experiences that are if they're worth making a video out of. When I'm driving around by myself, like I go to town and by myself. Oh well, I mean that's true in general. For me, it's extra true. Like things don't count unless I made a video about it and put it up. Otherwise, it's not on the flow. Things do count once I put a video up about it because then it's on the flow. It's on the record that I've said it and I've made that video and whatever. And people either like it or they don't. Or, you know, I gotta make a short out of that sign thing I saw yesterday, but I'm sure YouTube will be very iffy about it probably. As in if you had lived your life and no one knew or anything you thought or cared about, or if you made nothing, if you're just a spectator of the world 100%, then in the long term you feel dead. As much fun as it is in the moment. Well, that's a meaning making kind of perspective on things. People who are experiential might not feel that way. They might get to the end of their life and say, did I have enough experiences? Did I do enough things? Um, rather than whether they had impact on the outside world. Their perspective is more subjective and they view a life well lived as one in which they got to experience a lot of things or travel a lot of places or something. Like my dad wanted to travel a lot of places. My mom liked to travel too some. I, I can't imagine living my life the way my parents lived their retirement. I'm not interested in those things. I don't see the point in having a bunch of subjective experiences that leave no real impact on the world beyond the scope of your family. But that's because my Libra is dead, my Taurus is kicking. Who knows about my Cancer though? My Libra is dead, my Taurus is licking, and who knows whether I'm a Capricorn, Libra too, and every other astrology too. Then you know what you've got astrology, yeah. What's making us? Capio making that noise? Trouble, don't give Capio that look. Look at Trouble. Look at him. He's such a bad kitty. He's just mad dogging Capio. Let me just zoom in on him a bit. Now he's mad dogging me. Okay, what? All right, thank you. Give me the shady eyes finally. So now you're back in his good favor. If ghost implies an entity that was human, the act of them voyeuring would indicate active perverted behavior. You think ghosts are perverts? Is that what you're saying? According to me, your FIs did. Did I type you? I don't know what type you are. If I didn't type you, I don't know what type you are. If I did type you, I still don't know what type you are. Because I don't remember. So, there you have it, KE. If I did type you, and I typed you as FI polar, well, that's consistent with what you were saying before, as I said, so. Well, based on what you said here, I'm going to say either ESTP or ENTP. But I don't know which. How am I supposed to remember that? You're ENTP trash? Like me? Congratulations. Welcome to a shitty life. And that, KE, is why your life sucks. Because you're an ENTP, you just want to play all the time, and you have to do all this other stuff. That's not fun. And that's a shame. Okay, well, that's a good job of demonstrating subjectivity and as a rebuttal to my claim. I concede your excellent argumentational strategy there. I concede that your argumentational strategy is excellent. So, kudos to you, KE. Kudos. In fact, I'm giving you a wonder point for your excellent argumentational strategy. Is it Wednesday? No, it's Tuesday. So wonder point values are not doubled, but you still got a wonder point. Congratulations. Those don't just fall out of the sky into your lap. You've got to earn a wonder point. Well, congratulations to you for thinking that. You are correct. As it occurs in contemporary public discourse space, it is a contemptible mess. It serves nothing but scorn of any good thinker. I'm not watching you eat a third time this morning. You're going to have an eating disorder. Oh, I guess I will be watching you eat again. Okay, I hear you. You are such a narcissist. Oh, okay, well, at least let me put cream in my coffee. Captain meows a lot. I've already watched you eat 2 times this morning. Okay, I'm coming. Okay. This crazy cat is so crazy. You're such a control freak. Yes, you are. What to do when your cat is a narcissist? That's a good video. The answer is just give in. Just deal with it for the next 7 years or whatever. Who knows how old this cat is, you know? I've got no idea how old it is. I could figure out, if I wanted to, exactly how old Capillo is. But and that's a good thing about YouTube, you know. You're leaving a record of all the events, so if you need to find the time of one of them for some reason, you can. But I don't really care how old Capillo is or when her birthday is or whatever. I've got to deal with this narcissist instead. 5 signs your cat is a narcissist. I bet that video would do well. Number 1, he makes you watch him eat. Number 2, he won't let you pet your other cat without you shooing him away. He tries to prevent you from petting the other cat. Number 3, he tries to tell you when to go to bed. Number 4, he has a wide variety of meows that he will throw at you in order to get you to comply with his behavior. Number 5, he will use violence on you if you pet him 1 too many times, but then expect you to pet him as soon as he wants to be pet again without any qualms. Oh, yes. What a narcissistic cat you are. Like number 5, he tries to prevent you from having sex with your wife. Having relations. That'd be more ad safe, to say that. Having relations. I'm sorry, I can't come to the phone right now. I'm having relations. I actually did get up while having relations to get the phone. Yesterday, I guess it was, because I thought there was a decent chance it was Delilah regarding not significant, but regarding a financial matter, so a banking thing. So No, but if I do think something is right, which I very, 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 very rarely do, then yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, you're definitely not an ENTP. You should reject that. Number six, he sleeps in between you and your husband because he needs to be the center of attention. Right. He guards the cat door to prevent his sister from coming inside. He'll eat multiple times more than he could possibly want to eat just because he knows he can force you to watch him eat. It's like there's no way that cat needs to eat or wanted to eat 3 full breakfasts. But in, instead of listening to me and eating his breakfast all at once, when I first watched him, he just persisted in his normal behavior of like, well, whatever I can force you to do, I will force you to do. Which is like textbook narcissist behavior. Here you go, women friends. I know. You were so sick of those other cutlets. You like these cutlets a lot better. This uncut cutlets. The woodland friends aren't that into this other cutlets that we got, the cheap cutlets. So, because they like straight sunflower seeds, you know. They don't want any of these other seeds that purportedly birds like to eat, squirrels like to eat. No, they want, if they could have it, they just want straight sunflower seeds. So I gave in to the woodland friends yesterday at the store. Bought a bag of regular cutlets. Well, I mean, I think we absolutely should reject MBTI, but you shouldn't reject a defensible typology. After all, it's defensible. You can't negate what I'm saying successfully. I mean, you can argue preserving uncertainty as a value that you should uphold in all instances, except those that meet certain criteria that you arbitrarily set, like double-blind studies or whatever. You can make that argument, but that's not that's a generic. That's not a critique of what I'm saying at all. So, you know, generics are fine, and it may win the round for you in your mind, but um, if you want to be convincing to me, you have to actually critique directly what I'm saying. Not what anybody else is saying. You can't negate me by negating other people or pointing out that other people are wrong. Other people talking about the same subject are wrong. That's not a successful way to negate me. That's a successful way to negate them. My claim is that I'm exclusively correct about it and that you are right about everybody else. And I've ENTP'd this subject a lot longer than you have, in a lot more depth. And I'm a professional debate coach. So if you trust your own skills and stationary skills that much, you should trust mine even more. Cheers. Jeremiah Fix, I'll take that. I will take that. Thank you. You get a wonder point for that. Jeremiah Fix has afforded me the title God of Pedantry. And he's earned himself a wonder point for that. Congratulations, Jeremiah Fix. I appreciate the title. The Rahu and Ketu of things celestial. Yeah, the flow of potential and kinetic is very much how this reality works. Potential and kinetic. Right now, my legs have the potential to stand up. But until I do, well, but I mean, you can do that. You're arguing that there's a vagueness where there's not. I can make a clear distinction between knowledge and deliberation. Knowledge is instantaneous. Deliberation takes time. I mean, right? There is a clear bright line there, and there are between multiple functions, and you can use functions in isolation. You can come up with instances of them being used in isolation. So, I both reasoning and empirics are on my side. My ketu is very strong. I don't know what these words are that you're using. Ku, ketu, whatever. Sounds like some made up alien language. Like the made up alien language in Stardust. What's it called again? I tried to reference it earlier and I had to look it up again. This is a really interesting cartoon. It's super girly, super emo, but also surprisingly good. Stardust Telepath, that's what it's called. Now, Maggie and Dally, that's the one about the twins. I really like Ron Kamo no Hashi's Forbidden Deductions. That was a really good show that I watched yesterday. I watched yesterday Dead Mount Death Play, episode 13. Excellent to have that back in the mix. I really liked it, forgot about it, then all of a sudden it came back, with episode 13, the second half of the first season. Shy is very good. I watched that yesterday, episode 2. It's good. But maybe one of my very favorite ones this season is I'm in Love with the Villainess. That one is great. It's a girl, I guess it's like a lesbian cartoon, but this like submissive girl who's like 35-year-old woman and then gets isekai'd right into this what is it called, omane game. I think they call it that. There's what's a romance game? Oh yeah, otami game, OTOME. It's a game where you play to win the love of one of the princes or whatever like that. I always enjoy isekais with otami. They're fun. And this one's extra fun because the main character is the character that gets bullied by the mean rich girl in the game. But she's in love with that girl. And the girl tries to bully her and she's just like, it's great. Otami games. Mystical Messenger is the best one. I never played an Otami game, but I'm glad to see that you have, KE. Congratulations for that. I've thought about that quote in multiple occasions, Winston Mom, since you first posted it sometime back. I don't remember. The first half of one's life should be devoted to developing a healthy ego, and the second half of our life should be letting it go. I don't know what to make of that quote, but I am still thinking about it. Well, to be honest, when you're 60, if you don't know what you are doing here, then the chances are when you would when you're 90 are not that high. I have many, unfortunately, as I am and remain a depraved teen, only my body grows. You know what? I think that's worth a bong rip. I mean, what does this table say to you? Does this table say 52-year-old man? I don't know. Maybe not. I had to get a new bong yesterday. We got this one. And I think Rachel likes it. Is this cracked already? Where are my glasses? There they are. I wish my eyes would stop growing old. I want them to start growing younger again so I don't have to wear glasses anymore. Oh no, that's not a crack. It's just a piece of price tag that I didn't get off. That's good. Okay. So celebrating the moments of our life with International Foods Coffee. Celebrate the moments of your life. KE, I'm going to celebrate the moment of my life right now by transubstantiating this bong rip to you, okay? Because you know what, KE? I feel you, dog. Okay? I feel you, dog. Transubstantiate thee. That was a butane torch. I hope the temperature was high enough for the transubstantiation to go through correctly. Should have been high enough. It wasn't just a regular lighter, so it should be okay. Thanks. You know what, KE? I think maybe I'm going to cop that. I'm going to start saying that. I feel you, cat. Except if your name's Catherine, then you'll think I'm talking to you. Like, Rachel calls her sister Cat, even though that's not her actual name. Well, what is her actual name, Eric? It's Catherine, I guess. Katerina? KE, I feel the same way about Susans. You know, who cares about anybody named Susan? It's like this great title I had one time for a live stream. Everything's fine. Everything's fine except Barbara. Everything's going to be fine except Barbara. I think that was the title. I don't know how to myelinate things. Jeremiah Fix. Catherine. KE is here. ENTPing it up. By insisting, of course, she has no type. And displaying lots of FI polar and etc. And compelling me to say to her, I feel you, dog, only to find myself corrected. I feel you, cat. Because I am going to be a cat for Halloween, and we are getting ready for Halloween. You cry a lot? Well, Rachel, I'll tell you, I'm Captain Waterworks myself. So is my FI polar daughter. FI polar does not mean you don't cry a lot. And it probably feels good every time you do, you know? After you cry. Okay, Katie. I'm an ESFJ. Even if I were, I would still be correct point. Because we've got to evaluate the argument and making it. That's the rules. You gotta follow the rules. You forgot to follow the rules, KE. You're a rule breaker. You know what we do with rule breakers around here? We get them a tarot card. Let's see what rule breaker KE gets for her tarot card. Well, I used to like to do that too. So I realized that there weren't any actual castles out there. There's all sand castles. Yeah, this card. Consider offering ponder ideas. 4 cups. It says bid on it. I think it's meant to say bide. The E's just missing. Don't you think it should say bide? In the context of all those other words? Probably should say bide. Not bid. But I think they just left the E off. Let's give you another card here. See what else you get. I don't know if it's prescriptive like that or not. Oh, look, you got the Fool card. I feel you, cat. I feel you. Venture, open, pure. 0. Faith, fool, clerk, clear, innocent. Congratulations. Now let's get you a 3rd card. We're gonna pull a card. We're gonna pull a card. This one. Uh-oh. Look at this. Struggle. Defense. Effort. Flack. 7 of rods. So, that's your reading for today, KE. You got these 3 cards. This is the 4 of Cups. This one is the Fool. And this one is the 7 of rods. So, you know, I think maybe if you take it as prescriptive, you need to think about things so you're not a fool and you can avoid all of this struggle and stuff. All right, there's your prescription if you want a prescriptive. No, you can. You can. You're just very lazy. Now, this card is for Winston's mom. It's the 8 of Cups. Journey, unknown. Done. Walking away. I'm leaving all these cups behind and I'm walking away. Fuck these cups. The 8 of Cups card is also known as the fuck these cups card. Now, Winston's mom. Well, it should be named the FUC card. Now, Winston's mom. You get a 2nd card. What is it? It's this one. The High Priestess. Intuition, feminine, sense, feel, omens, vibes, High Priestess. Oh, the 3rd one comes right out. What is it? Oh, conflict, strife, 5 of rods, competition, challenge, adversary, discord. Look at all these people clanging their sticks together. Well, looks like just like KE, you get a mixed bag today. Mixed bag. You get some cups, you get a major, and then you get some rods. Nobody really likes rods, I don't think. Rods are like, let's pay these bills, or let's get this project done, stuff like that. So some of Pentacles paying the bills, I guess. All right, now this one is for. Let's see. Let's see if Rachel's still awake. If she's still awake, this will be for her. Even if she's not, this will be for her. This top one, yeah. Okay. Starts out with the sun. Brilliance, rhapsody, shine, happiness. High. Wait, no. Chais? Chison? What does this say? High? Chai? Oh, chi. C-H-I, chi. That's what it says. So Rachel got as her first card. Her second card. Dynamo. Passionate, charming, cocky. Knight of Rods. Athlete. Okay. The third one popped right out. This one. Oh. The Lovers. Relationship, attraction, kindred, chemistry, lovers, romance. That's what I would say Rachel and I are, most of all, is kindred spirits. You know? We are two peas in a pod. Maybe the extra one came out. Three of Rods. Ambition, success, arrival, advent. All right, Rachel, good job. You got a good pull there. Congratulations. As always, that means you are the winner. That's about how I wish I could remember to live. Remember, Eric, you are the winner. You have nothing to complain about. This is for me, I guess. Ace of Cups. Feel heart open, bliss, fun, create, new beginning, love, joy. This is for me as well. We'll see what comes out. Well, what does the tarot have to say to me today? Oh, this one, I'll put it right here. Yes, it says inception and spark, seed and growth and potential arc. Germination, Ace of Rods. Ace of Cups, Ace of Rods. This one's already poking out. The Magician. Well, that's interesting. Two aces and a major. That's not too bad. I guess if I were to put it in a sentence, I'd say, open up your heart to the bliss of new living. Get a new idea. And then magically make it come alive. That's what this is all about. All right. Now, Boba Fett, I'm always scared to pull for you. I want to get good cards for you, but you always get such bad cards. There we go. This time, good cards for Boba Fett. First one, the Fool. Okay, Boba Fett gets the Fool card first. Venture, open, pure, clear, innocent, faith. Tara, what do you have to say about Boba Fett today? This one? The Star. Radiant, inspiration, holy, divine, ethereal. And then the last card for you. Let's see what the tarot has to say today about Boba Fett. This one? And you get an extra one on top. Ace of Pentacles, increased new money, opportunity gig. And the extra one you got is the Three of Cups, play, celebrate, friends. I guess the message here is this. By being the fool, you shine and bring new opportunity that makes you celebrate. There you go. By being the fool, you shine, which brings new opportunity, makes you celebrate. Boom. Boom. That's called a tarot boom. I'm the winner because I have you. This is for Jeremiah Fix. Tarot, what do you have to say today about Jeremiah Fix? Is this one? Yes, it is for sure. Harmony cohabitate for you. Home, move, happiness, 4 of rods. I'm back duty called. I missed a mushy moment. Oh, well. It was a good tarot card pull for Boba Fett. Now, I am going to pull the second card for Jeremiah Fix. What do you have to say today, Tarot, about Jeremiah Fix? This one, huh? Jeremiah Fix gets the Empress. Fertility, mother, success, no, secure, press, Empress. Beautiful harvest. Okay. Now, third card came right out. The Magician. Harmony is attained when your Empress and your Magician get together and have a baby. Baldur's Gate is your new best friend. I kind of want to play it. I think Year One made me kind of want to play it, but it's super expensive. I don't think I want to pay that much money for a video game. Also, I don't know if I want to have that much of my time consumed by a video game. Oh, it is? That's not that much. I thought it was like $500. Why did you pay for it twice? Oh, no, I know I have plenty of time. I'm just not sure that's how I should be spending it. You know, I've gotten into video games before. I haven't necessarily felt like it was a good use of my time. You might say, well, this isn't a good use of your time, Eric. I feel like it's a better use of my time than playing a video game. If it gives me happiness. It would also be kind of like, it's like I have a partner with whom I like to spend time. So, I mean, granted, I've been watching a lot of whatever, but I don't know. I don't feel like it's the right time in my life to get into something like that. Let's see what the tarot has to say about it. Wow, look at that. Look at that. That's what the tarot has to say about it. Three of Swords. Heartache, pain, grief, breakup, sad, whoa. Heat ache. So that's what the tarot has to say about it. I don't think it's a good idea to get that game. The tarot agrees with me. What is this card? Because I am a spirit child, okay? And you need to respect that spirit child. I have a message. And it's a message produced by my intuition. Okay, I need to spread my message. My message is you should listen to Eric. Sure, it's not a very good message, but it is a message. Hard to deny that. I can imagine myself playing that game, but like my daughter plays World of Warcraft all the time. She's been playing for God knows how long. I have no idea how long she's been playing for. It's got to be at least 10, 15 years or something. Yeah, it's just your dominant function. People with an action function first, SE or NE, tend to get pathologized as ADHD, which is not really a thing. It's real. Or at least it's not a pathology. It's just a, a way of being. It gets pathologized because people don't understand people's ways of being as patterns of attentional priority, but instead as, you know, as deviance from standards that they set by projecting their own function bias. But if we understood things correctly, we would get harmony. Okay. I mean, look, a lot of people may or may not be more effective on speed. Especially NE types, I think, get a lot of SE out of amphetamines for some stretch of time. I think it's kind of stopped working for me. But but that's just like I mean, you are attaining an outcome that you want for some reason, but whether or not that's a good thing is a separate question, I guess, sort of. For us, we don't really know what we want very clearly. We know we want life, the sucky parts of life to suck less. And we know that amphetamines help with that. All NDOMs have it pretty rough. I agree. I agree with that statement. NI and NDOMs have it pretty rough for different reasons, but for similar ones. They're meaning up front as a being and as an absolute value. By and large, we're miserable when we're useful citizens, happiest when we're useless, but hate being useless and disempowered. it's a real conundrum of mias. That's probably the best way to put it. It's a conundrum of mias. We're a group of people who, to be happy, ultimately needs to be empowered and useless. So, AKE, I'm a big fan of complaining. You're not going to find anybody catching me saying complaining is bad. I will say that whining is bad. There's a difference between complaining and whining. Complaining is just whining, justified whining. Okay? You might complain about this, for example. Something one might complain about: hardship, outcast, low, lack, poverty. One might complain about this: burden, oppression, onus, weary, baggage, weight, task. This is what KE is complaining about. She's like, I'm KE, and you know what I don't like? I don't like oppression. You don't like the Ten of Rods. Well, not everybody's complaints are equally justified, though. We have to evaluate them on their merits. We can't just evaluate them on the fact that they're complaints. Yeah, fuck oppression, right. You're right to complain about it. I don't blame you for complaining, right? It's not like you're complaining about this. Okay? You're not complaining about achievement, success, roll, rise, evolution. So if you were complaining about that, then I'd say you're just being a complainer. Then you're just being a whiner. You base it on the tarot card you pull, KE. That's what you base it on. Okay? You have to do this. You have to dream. You have to visualize, imagine, create. You got a Seven of Cups shit, okay? That's how. That's how. Okay? So, KE never dreamed that she would be defeated by the tarot deck until this happened. The tarot said to her, withdraw, reflect, attain wisdom via Eric. He offers you wise counsel. And then to Eric, the tarot says, in reply, or in addition, says, twofer. Never take a twofer. This top one? It says, it's fine, Eric. You're not going to fall off that horse. You're doing fine. Your skin doesn't sunburn that easily. And yes, your junk chafes a little bit, but it's a very soft horse. Yay! So you just let the tarot argue for you. You want a tower, Eric? Well, you get this one. What you need to do is engage in partnership, vision, plan. You need more planning in your life, KE. Would you like more planning? How about, you want to talk logistics? Would you like to schedule some stuff? Let's do some scheduling, organization of plans and stuff like that. That'll be fun. Yeah, this one's upside down. It really wants to come out today. This one. It's this. I feel you. I feel you, cat. Okay? You don't like the weariness of all this baggage and oppression and onus and weight and burden. You don't like it. You want it to go away. I don't blame you. I also can't help you. I have no idea how to fix your problem. What should you do about it? Let's find out. Let's ask the tarot. What should KE do about all this oppression and burden you keep talking about? Let's get a little bit of prescription here. Okay? You need to be Page of Pentacles. Payment, news, gain, bonus, royalty, perk. Gotta find some perks, I guess. What else is the prescription for KE? You need to be a passionate dynamo. Knight of Rods. Charming, cocky, athletic. Okay? Now, the third card for KE to direct her towards a harmonious future is, in fact, the Harmony card, Four of Rods. So basically, you need to move into a home with a rich person, cohabitate with them harmoniously, and then you will find happiness. You will find this person by, I don't know, some perk, payment, new, gain, or something like that. And by being dynamic and passionate. And then you can live happily ever after. Well, you might have to do more than just game then. You might have to you're looking for this person. A miser who hoards and greeds all of their stuff. You want to get in with sitting right next to this guy. Well, KE, you know, you're kind of following what might be called Rachel's path. You're young. He said, what should you do? Well, you're still young. I mean, you know, there's a lot of things you can do when you're a young lady. In the conventional sense. But I would recommend try to find your actual kindred spirit, somebody who's very much like you as well, if possible. Otherwise, you're going to be miserable dealing with this fucking TE Dom all the time and being like, fuck this guy, he's an asswipe. I don't like all the control he's exercising over me all the time. And then you're going to be like, this isn't even fun. I have to do all this stuff still? Like, Rachel doesn't really have to do anything that she doesn't want to do, you know? And she has a couple of tasks. I have a couple of tasks, you know, sort of assigned to us. Like, I don't have any checks, so when we get bills, I PayPal her the money for the bills and then have her write the check. She has to write the checks, therefore, and then we have to put a kind of code, put the stamp on. This is a level of stuff that we have to do. She did the laundry last night. I think she's been up all night. I don't think she really slept at all. Well, I once again last night didn't take any of her Klonopin, and I plan to continue to not take it because if I do, I feel kind of meow in the morning, and I don't want to get any kind of dependency on it either. It's got a long half life, so even if you only take it every couple of days, it's still in your system all the time. Man. I want to make sure I get it completely out of my system because I don't want to get addicted to benzos. And I only really like them when I'm on amphetamines. It's a good mix. It's a nice pairing. It's like pairing wine with food. A good pairing for your dextroamphetamine is uh, benzos. Just a little bit of Klonopin will help make the whole experience shine. Because then you're thwacked but chill. It's you're thwacked but not gacked, and that's what you're really looking for in an amphetamine experience. Thwacked but not gacked. Oh, this horrible wall. Oh, this wall. I need to finish taking off all the gray stuff. It's such a horrible wall. It looks so ugly. Oh, I need to fix it. I need to finish it. I need to stop being a lazy blazy. I'm not gonna paint the wall until I finish taking off. Until I finish taking off the concrete. I'm not gonna paint it then either, but I'm gonna try to make it look uniform instead of having all these crazy lines on it that I dug out with the freaking pressure washer, power washer, whatever you call it. Oh, GE. Although I gotta say, my recent triumph, I had a couple of recent huge TE triumphs, of which I'm pretty proud. First, the dryer stopped being hot. Now, apparently, what we realize now is that it's been not very hot for quite a long time, maybe the whole time we've been here. I don't know. And then it stopped being hot completely, like stopped having any hot air. So I looked it up on the internet and I got these two fuses, these two high temperature fuses, and I replaced them and I fixed the dryer myself for a grand total of $20. Then the oven stopped being hot. And I looked that up on the internet. And it turned out I just needed to unplug and plug in the oven again a couple of times, and it fixed itself. So I fixed both the broken oven and the dryer for a grand total of $20. That's pretty good. Pretty good. I was pretty proud of myself for that. And now the dryer's like extra hot, Rachel says. I don't really do any laundry, but one of the things that Rachel does, but it's not like she has to do it, right? It's like if she didn't do it, I'd eventually just do a load of laundry of my clothes myself and be like, maybe eventually be like, hey, why'd you stop doing the laundry? That would be about the full extent of it. Did you stop doing the laundry for some reason? Or just you got sick of it? Yeah, I'll get back to it eventually, is what I would expect her to say at that point. Yeah. I'd be like, I feel you, cat. She worries about like whether I'm judging her messy room upstairs. I wouldn't judge your messy room. I just pick it up. if I cared enough to do so, Like sometimes I go up there and try to get into bed with her, and they're usually like various, she's like a squirrel. She has these little cups and stuff of like chips or whatever that she are partially eating up there, and like a bag of peach rings that she's got like 6 peach rings in it still, but it's just sitting there in the place where I would lie. So I gotta pick those up, straighten up a little bit before I can get into bed. Anyway, I think it's adorable. I would never judge her for that. I think it's funny and weird and awesome. She's such a girl. Her room is full of girly stuff. It's funny to think of us like we're a married couple, but um, she has her room. It's weird to think of it like that because, of course, we both have this whole house, but it's just sort of how it worked out. Like she she wants and enjoys having a room that's her room where she says things. That's how she likes to set it up and whatever. I don't really exactly have a room, but I got my stuff set up in the living room, like my guitars and stuff, which I periodically play around on. Not very often. But I do like my new song, Sign Holders. Sign holders, be safe and wear your hard hat. Bright green safety vest and modesty pants. Your sign says slow, but you wave me fast as my wife and I confusedly drive past. I like that song. I think it's good. So yeah, I like my sign holder song. I also like my song Ooh Ah Ooh Ah Ooh Ah. Ooh ah ooh ah ooh, it's the song that I got. Ooh ah ooh ah ooh, it's the song that I want. Ooh ah ooh ah ooh, what I wanna do, I wanna sing. What I wanna sing, I wanna sing. Ooh ah ooh ah ooh ah ooh ah ooh ah ooh, it's the song that I got. Ooh ah ooh ah ooh, it's the song that I want. Ooh ah ooh ah ooh, what I wanna do, I wanna sing. What I wanna sing, I wanna sing. Ooh ah ooh ah ooh ah ooh ah ooh ah ooh. I like that song. Wood. My wood is a Chinese monkey is a good title for something. Well, it's important to have somebody keep files on you. More people need to be keeping files on me. Um, they need to be watching my every word, recording my every word, writing it down, double checking to make sure they got it right, then reading everything I've said again, and learning from it. Then we'd all be party to an idyllic world of peace and joy. Yes, that, my friends, is the power of Eric. Look at that. Isn't that nice to look at? It's a beautiful morning sky. Oh my gosh, you guys. Look at the beautiful morning sky. Let me see what I got better view. Oh, there we go. It's morning on the hillside. Morning on the hillside. Morning in the morning light. Let me get it right there. There. Morning on the hillside. Blue and white with clouds. Oh, the forest sunshine coming over hilltop. Doesn't that sound like the song of that of this picture? I think so. I think that's the song of this picture. Oh, the morning sunshine coming over hilltop, and the clouds are floating. Yes, the clouds are floating by. They're floating by rather slowly, just making their way that way, going that way. I don't know if you can really see the clouds that well. It's just kind of all bright back there. Ah, there's some cloud here, there. Yes, the morning sunshine as the cloud is drifting by. Watch the cloud a drifting. See the morning sun. You can see it drifting by. Look at that. You can watch as this cloud moves across the screen. That'll be very exciting for you. You love watching clouds in motion. You've always told me that. You're like, can we please have more clouds in motion? Well, yes, you can. Would you like to look at different clouds? How about those clouds over there? Let's see what those ones look like. There. How about that one? In the morning sunshine, clouds are slowly drifting. This one looks like a guy looking backwards. Right. This one. That thing right there. Oh, he's going behind the tree now. Goodbye. What other clouds do we have here? Oh, this looks like a guy with a big mouth. This guy right there. See? He's coming this way. He's coming. This is hard to do. He's coming this way. He's about to bite the tree. Oh no! I can't fit this tree in my mouth. Now it's stabbing me in the eye. And then here comes this guy. He's lying on his back. He's doing the backstroke above the guy that just went behind the tree. Now his head's hitting into the tree. Ow! The tree's scraping my face. Here's a moving cloud for you. You can't even see it. Or blow smoke right in front of the camera, you can't see it. But you can see the clouds are moving. The clouds, they are moving when friends surround us. In the fire signs, I've yet thought not of who includes. What's this one? It's like an angry chicken. Looks like trying to peck the tree, but he's like, oh no. Once again, the tree is winning. Tree always wins against clouds. You can still see him moving by just fine, even at this zoom. Move on by, clouds. Move on by. This is a long lecture. Look at this, 3 hours, 20 minutes. Even after I took 2 gabapentins when I woke up. That's surprising, impressive. The thing is, I'm enjoying hanging out. I don't know what I'm going to do when I end live streaming. I could like clean up, do some chores. Most of the things I prefer to do while streaming, you know. It's better to do things on a live stream than it's to just do things. Usually. Not always. Some things that require too much of my attention. And I have to do them without dealing with a camera. Also, there's some things that are loud that obviously people don't enjoy hearing power tools as the audio for their live stream, usually. Like, watch me use a leaf blower as a live stream. I will never watch. I'm blowing leaves. This phone's getting low on electricity. So I will probably, I'm going to plug it in, but it's got 5%. So, your mania is over. Okay. Good job. Congratulations. You deserve a rewarding bong rip for that. So I'm going to give you right now. I'm going to transubstantiate some of California's finest TKE. Pyromancy. That oh, they're actually for you, KE. When I transubstantiated bong rip, my lungs do all the processing, but your head gets all of the goodness. That's how it works. It's the ultimate act of self-sacrifice by me. Well, I don't know what to do now. I'm kind of at a loss. Should I go to bed? Should I be the boss? Am I more a kid or more like Brother Haas? From that one show that I used to watch called Bonanza. Bonanza was a popular show in its time, but was also very popular as a rerun. Probably still is rerun frequently. This is tropical Western Placid. Bed is the best lover. Yeah, well, I feel you in the sense that bed is an excellent lover. When I get into bread, I often say, "Oh, bread, I love you," because I love bread so much. I wish I could get a comforter that looked like a big piece of bread, so that I could really feel like I'm getting into bread. How many October babies are there? 4. I guess I will go back to bed. I guess that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to actually, well, I have to take the plug too. Maybe I'll do it. I was thinking maybe I'll go to bread and then I will plug this in and maybe tell a bread time story before I go to sleep. 8 to 10 for 10 day today. That's pretty good. 10 out of 10. It's 100%. Do I have it in me to tell a bread time story? I'm feeling pretty tired, but I think I could probably muster a bread time story for you. Okay. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to have to briefly unplug you. I guess I could plug you into that thing. Okay. Now this will carry us over just until we get over there. And then I'll tell you a wonderful bread time story as I'm going to sleep. And you're going to love it. You're going to love it so much. What are you going? I'm not going what? Where am I going? I'm going to bread. I'm going to tell all of you a bread time story so that you can sleep more peacefully and enjoy life to its fullest. I'm going to turn off this light, which I find to be a very SI light for me. This light over here. I grew up with it as a kid in my house. That bird lamp with the black lampshade on it. I'll turn off this. I like this so it stops spinning around all the time. I'll grab this lighter I dropped and put it right there. Now we're going to go in here. Next, I'm going to go into this bathroom where I'm going to go pee. And I will leave you to look at yourself in the mirror. I'll move this towel so you can see yourself better. Additionally, I will plug you in here temporarily. Okay, now you can look at yourself while I come over here and go pee. Can you see me at all? No, I don't think so. No, you can't see me at all, can you? When does my hand come? It only comes into view way over there. Okay, that's good. You can just see yourself. So take this chance to check your makeup or whatever. Make sure you're looking your best. Getting ready for a bedtime story. If you are in a time zone or just have available to you the time, you should go lie down in bed for this bedtime story. It is meant to help you go to sleep. It's going to be a nice, peaceful, calm and easy bedtime story. The kind of bedtime story that makes everyone fall right asleep. But that's coming up after I pee. Then I'm going to get up and I'm going to go back where I left from to make sure I locked all the doors. Then we're going to come back over here. But this time we'll go back to the bread instead. We'll go to bread instead of to the bathroom. Once I'm sure all the doors are locked. Then it'll be time for the story of your life. You're going to experience a story so resonant to you that you're going to say, oh my God, this story is the most resonant story I've ever heard. I'm emotionally captured. I'm spiritually captured. I'm physically captured. And kept in confinement for years. But that's after I go finish going pee, which I'm about doing going pee right now. So we're gonna wrap that up. All right. It is now time for us to go check the doors. So we are going to unplug you from here again, briefly plug you into here, and go check the doors. That's where we're going to end up. Doesn't that look cozy? Doesn't that look wonderful? That's where bread happens. That's where people go to bread and they feel, maybe for the first time in their life, like, a story about me and my life, the truth of everything that brings peace, joy, and completeness to my life has finally been told to me by this strange old man who has a YouTube channel. That's what it's going to be like when I'm done with this story for you. It's how you're going to experience it. So, and believe it or not, I've heretofore undersold just how great this story is going to be. Just to be clear about that. It's going to be at least 5 times greater than I've said. And I've already said it's going to be super great. So it's, it's going to be fantastic. Okay. You know what? I guess in order to more easily plug this in, I'm going to have to put it on this side of the bed. Okay. Now, take that plug out of there, put it into here, and then we're going to lower that a bit, bring it a little closer. There. Okay. There. Okay. Now, I'm going to get into bed as follows. There we go. Now, it's going to get pretty dark in here in a second. So, if you're scared of the dark, don't worry. Just remember, I'm here telling a story. Just a story. You don't need to be too scared. Okay, yeah, it's pretty dark, right? That's on purpose. That's what bedtime stories are for. That's what darkness is for bedtime stories. So now that it's dark, because underneath my modesty pants, I'm wearing my hugs. I don't want you to see me in my hugs. So Now that I'm under the covers and it's dark, I'll take off my modesty pants, which are unnecessary for sleeping. Because I'm under the covers and nobody can see my hug. Alright, here we go. Getting ready for the bedtime story of your life. Oh. Once upon a time, there was a young man and he began his hero's journey. Okay. His name was Philip, and people call him Foolish Philip. Kitty, what are you doing? You're climbing on top of me? Hi. And Foolish Philip was called foolish because he was so pure and innocent in his vision. One day, Foolish Philip said to his family and friends, I'm off to take a walk on a path I know not where it shall lead. And I'm taking this little dog with me. So please don't bother me. And everybody said, oh, Foolish Philip, you'll never get anywhere with your foolish ways. But Foolish Philip didn't care, and he walked along the path of the hero's journey. And pretty soon he came upon a terrible obstacle. It was a monster of some sort, and it had large spikes all over it. It looked kind of like a Stegosaurus, except it was a mammal. And Foolish Philip first thought, I'll simply make friends with this creature. And then he, instead of being an obstacle, he will be an asset. When he tries to make friends with the creature, though, it runs at him and tries to stab it with its spikes. So he uses his intuition and becomes the magician. He mixes up a potion on the spot out of grass, dirt, pine tar, and spit. He creates a bomb and he throws it in the face of the creature. It explodes, releasing dirt and sand all in the creature's nose and eyes. And the creature runs away. Meanwhile, who's watching? A lady. A very sexy lady. And her name is Lily. And Lily was like, hey, what's your name? And he said, I'm Philip. And she said, I was watching from over there by the side. I was coming up the road and I saw, oh shit, there's this shit going down here with this big monster. I better stay back. But I was watching. I saw what you did. I'm impressed by it. And he's like, really? But everybody says I'm a fool. And she goes, you don't seem like a fool to me. You seem like a great magician. So they go off together holding hands. And after a while, they find an inn and they check in for the night. And at first, they get 2 rooms. But then, on the second or third night at the inn, Lily says, Philip, let's just save some money and get one room. And maybe we can get one with two beds. And they say to the innkeeper, do you have any one rooms with two beds? And the innkeeper says, no, we just have one room with king size bed. And so they say, well, let's just get that and then, we'll figure it out. That's what Lily says. And Philip says, we'll figure it out. Okay, I guess. He's imagining he's going to have to sleep on the floor. But when they get into the room and they unpack their stuff and everything, they got suitcases. They both have suitcases. I didn't mention that before, but it's always been the case that they had suitcases. So, anyway, when they're done unpacking the suitcases, Lily begins taking off some of her clothing because it's pretty warm in the room. And she says to Philip, it's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. And he says, it is getting so hot. I will take my clothes off. And so they get into bed naked and they become the lovers. Well, first they stand naked next to each other with their hands like gonna hold hands, but not quite holding hands yet. They do that first. Then they get into bed and then they become the lovers accordingly. And accordingly, also what that means is that Philip becomes a man in the old-fashioned sense of the word and has sexual intercourse with Lily. Lily, of course, was already a woman because she didn't come into this as the fool after all. So now Lily and Philip are a couple and they're experiencing some couple like bliss, some communion, some two of cups, some of that kind of stuff. And then what happens? Lily dies in a car crash. And so foolish Philip is very sad and has to experience the Three of Swords. But he continues on his travel, and pretty soon he's a little bit more savvy about the world now, having both defeated a beast and conquered a lady. So he meets another lady, and this lady's name is Priscilla, but she goes by the nickname Lily, which is the same name as his previous lady. So he meets her in a park where there are swings and a slide, and he says, "Hi, how are you? What's your name?" And she says, "My name's Priscilla, but I go by Lily." And he says, "Lily, do you want to slide with me?" She said, "Slide with you? What do you mean? We're both adults. That slide isn't that tall. I don't know, really, both of us could get a good ride out of it even." And he says, "Well, Lily, you know what? I bet if you go on the slide with me, you'll agree afterwards that it's the best slide you ever had." She's like, "All right, well, with that selling, I will go on the slide with you." So she goes up first and he gets behind her and like puts his legs around her waist and they slide down in that kind of very intimate fashion. And she goes, "Wow, that was a much more intimate slide than I imagined." And then Philip, who's really feeling his oats, says, "Well, you know what? I got an even better slide in store for you coming up now." And she goes, "Oh yeah, where is that?" And he's like, "In my inn room." So they go to the inn. And she's like, "Well, look, I am a fellow traveler. I do need a place to stay tonight. So I will go to the inn with you. But I'm testing you, okay? We're going to sleep in a king size bed. We're not going to touch each other." So they go to sleep. They both adhere to that. And in the morning, she says, "Well, You passed the test. You didn't try to get on me last night. You just let us sleep there. And we chatted. It was pleasant. I enjoy your company. So, okay, let's start going out on the dates and stuff. Let's start being girlfriend and boyfriend. He says, all right, cool. But they haven't actually had sex yet. So then they continue on their journey and they're going from end to end and they keep not having sex. And then one day Philip realizes it. He's like, oh, Lily, you know what? You and I are just friends because we keep sleeping in the same bed and nothing ever happens. And Lily's like, you're right. I think we are just friends. And he goes like, well, we get along pretty well. And she says, yeah, but you know, you're not exactly my type. And he goes, I know, you're not really my type either. So they say, all right, well, look, let's help each other find another person for the other person. I'll look for dudes for you, and you look for chicks for me. And so Philip and New Lily, as he's come to call her, um, they they start doing that. So Philip goes to a bar and he starts interviewing various guys to see if they're good enough for Lily. But he's finding a lot of pushback from the guys. He says, hey, how you doing? What are you into? Tell me about yourself." And they think that he's hitting on them. Now that would work fine with gay men, but he obviously is looking for straight men because this is a heteronormative story. So anyway, he meets this one guy, Bob, and he's like, "So what are you into, Bob?" And he's like, "Well, I'm into motocross, and I'm into dirt biking." He's like, "Well, what else?" He's like, "Well, like dune buggying. Like, anything else?" He's like, "Well, like, you know, going out on the dunes with a motorized vehicle." And so Philip gives up on Bob. He's like, "You're just too one dimensional a character. I can't see you being hooking up with Lily." And he goes to the next guy and he's like, "What's your name?" And he says, "My name is Hank." And he goes, "Well, what are you into?" I go, "Well, why are you asking me? Who are you? What are you up to? I see you going up to all these guys." And then Phil goes, "Well, I'll admit it. I'm interviewing them for my friend Lily. She needs a dude. And she and I ended up just being friends because even though we sleep in the same bed every night, I never seem to want to fuck her." And he goes, "Oh, that's weird. And is she hot?" And he's like, "Yeah, she's hot." But he's like, also, he's like, "But if you care too much about that, then you're not good enough for her." And he's like, "I do care about it, but not that much. It's like, I'm looking for a chick that, you know, I can be in the same boat with." And then Phil's like, "The boat analogy? Okay, you're in, Hank. Come with me." And Hank's like, "But I'm not even finished my first beer. I just got here." It's like, "Perfect. You're still sober. Let's go." And Hank says, "All right." So he takes Hank back to Lily. And he says, "Lily, go take Hank. Hank, just go take her to dinner. And I'll wait here. And when you come back, tell me if you're satisfied or not." And they go to dinner and she comes back and she's like, "Well, I am satisfied, but I have to see if he passes my test. He's really cool. I like him a lot. I want to jump his bones. He has to pass the test that you passed." And so they go to sleep in the same room, Hank and Lily. And the next morning, Philip says, "Well, did he pass the test?" And she's crying and she says, "I failed the test. I I couldn't help myself. I just started sucking his dick in the middle of the night." And Philip says, "Well, you know what? I got some good news for you. That means you actually passed the test this time. And that's the guy for you." And Hank and Lily got married. And um, Philip was both the best man and the maid of honor. He played both roles. And so half of him was in a suit and half of him was in a bridesmaid's dress. Anyway, um, they got married, and then they had a lot of kids, and they had one of those like 10 of cups kind of things with a rainbow and everybody being all happy and family and stuff. Whatever number of cups that one is. Anyway, so Philip continued on his journey. And he was still looking for a girlfriend or something, because he had gone through the first two lilies unsuccessfully. Um, so then one day he met Rachel, and then they got married, and they lived happily ever after. The end. So I got to end my story now with that fantastic ending, and I'm gonna see what all those beeps on my phone were. Like maybe I got some text or something. So anyway, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go to sleep. I can end the stream now because I need to use my phone for other purposes. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.